Alright, welcome to Phyre Dojo. So, today I'm about to test one of these pump drills. So, these pump drills, there's 4 of them. 1, 2, right, 3, 4. They're basically exactly the same. Okay. Now, the spindle shaft is one solid piece of ash, white ash. Okay. These sets are for Troop 108 in New Jersey, I think in Frenchtown. And so this was 1 square inch piece of ash, which comes down to 7/8 down here. Okay, this square. Now, the square in the flywheel is 7/8 of an inch. Okay. So when this drops, the round part of the shaft is 3/4, which is less than 7/8. So I drop this, and the square fits exactly right there. And it won't go anywhere because the bottom part is still 1 inch. So it won't go anywhere. So this uses reloads, 3-inch, 3/4 inch, 3-inch, 3/4 inch diameter reloads of pine. These are pine reloads, and in this bag there's a whole bunch of more pine reloads with an extra hose clamp like this one here and a screwdriver so that you can tighten down and loosen the hose clamp. Now all the reloads have a lumen, which means a hole basically, a lumen which is drilled in. The lumen size is 1/4 of an inch. Now the pine base, the hearthboard, is made of exactly the same pine as the reload. So the pine reload and the pine hearthboard they're from the same pieces, essentially. Now what I have here is very convenient for people who practice friction fire. I glued a 1/8 inch plywood board to the bottom, which will catch the coal here. And if you're on the floor or somewhere, it'll protect whatever you're on from burning, because the coal will burn. It'll just burn this little board here that it's caught on. All right. Now the pressure bar brace is made out of hard maple. So the hole is 1 inch in diameter, so that'll fit easily around that shaft. Now I have like a knock in here, like an arrow knock, in which the cord will fit in. There's 2 knocks on the ends of the pressure bar brace. And notice that this sits a couple inches above the flywheel. Your string can tend to stretch a bit, and you don't want it hitting the flywheel as this goes down, right? All right, so we're ready to test this 1 set out of 4. I don't think we're not gonna test all 4. So we're gonna do this on the table because doing this on the floor, it's harder for the camera to see what's going on down here, above and below. All right. So I'm just gonna pick this notch here. Right now, 3 things have to happen. Right. It has to mate together, because you see these are not used. So the reload is not used, this notch is not used yet. When it starts getting some abrasion friction going, it's going to mate together well, or it should. The second part, it needs to warm up and create dust. And the third thing it needs to do is ignite that dust. All right. So what I like to do, what I'm famous for, is raising the floor when the notch is really high. Because what happens is when the dust from the burning falls, it falls down the notch. Now you have to wait for the dust to gather all the way to the top before it can ignite. And that's just a big waste of energy and material. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise the floor up with some wood chips and sawdust. So the dust doesn't need to fall all the way down, and it will ignite faster. So it needs to 1, mate together, 2, create dust and warm up, and 3, ignite. And that's what we're about to do. Ready? So we got this wound up. Okay, we're going to wind this up. Now the trick is always just catch the rhythm of the flywheel. So how this works is through what's called centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is the wheel continues to turn after I'm done making a turn. So if I make a turn, it's still turning. That's centrifugal force. Now the wheel is stopped by the fact that it wound the opposite direction and it ran out of cord. Like now it's extremely tight. It can't go anywhere. So that will stop the wheel. And what happens is for a split second, it stores energy. Okay? It goes this way, this way, this way. It stores energy and it goes backwards on its own. See that? Now it's at that split second that when it goes backwards on its own, that's when I want to pump. And then it's going to stop again for a split second, store energy, and go backwards again. All on its own. And that's when I'm going to pump. I have to capture that rhythm. I don't do this. You never pull up on the bar. You don't help the bar up. Okay? You always maintain a slight downward pressure on the bar. Okay? Just let the wheel do the work. The wheel is doing the work. Just capture what the wheel does. Okay? So step 1, it has to mate together. It's very, very important you keep the set straight up and down. Don't lean this way, don't lean that way, don't lean any way. It has to be like 100 and it has to be like 90 degrees from the board, like straight up and down. All right? So the reason why I chose these sets is because apparently there's like a bridging ceremony. A bridging ceremony is when Cub Scouts are becoming Boy Scouts, which means that they're about 11 years old. So I need sets that an 11-year-old can do, right? And if a child is going to start with friction fire, I always recommend a pump drill because it's very energy efficient. Right? Now you can see down here, it's starting to gather dust and warm up. The smoke is telling us it's warming up, and we can see that the dust is filling the notch. And I'm just going to go just a little faster. because it's energy efficient, you can go longer. Okay, I think that we probably have it. So I'm going to stop. That looks like a coal. I could tell it's in there. See it smoking? Smoking all on its own. It's going to glow in a second. Just give it air. You could see by raising the floor, all the dust didn't have to go all the way down to the bottom. So what this will also do, okay, is that I could still use this here. Let's pop that out. See how much more I have to go here? See how high this notch is? I could keep going till I go all the way to the bottom. I've got at least 2 more tries for this socket if I wanted to. And there we go. Now we would have a tinder bundle, right? I don't make tinder bundles anymore because it's really not worth the time making. I just need to get the coal. So you would put this in your large fluffy tinder bundle, and then you would blow that into flame. All right, so these 4 sets, along with, wow, a bunch of reloads that are going to last a very, very, very long time. Some extra cord, a screwdriver, hose clamp, and a whole lot of pine hearth boards. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in there, plus 1, there's 8. 8 hearth boards that are really tall, that you could use at least 3 times. All right. So we're going to get these over to Troop 108, and I hope they have a good ceremony with these. All right. So until next time, catch you later.